Thank you for staying with us. You're still watching The Breakfast on Plus TV Africa. It's time to discuss business. 2024 was the most challenging year for MSMEs, and that's according to ASBON. The Association of Small Business Owners in Nigeria, ASBON, has declared that 2024 is set to be one of the most challenging years for micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs. According to ASBON President Dr. Femi Egbeshola, MSMEs are facing severe difficulties, especially after the economic setbacks of 2023. These challenges include hyperinflation, rising electricity tariffs, increased fuel prices, and high interest rates due to the rise of the monetary policy rate (MPR). These factors have caused many businesses to struggle and even collapse. Additionally, the floating of the naira and increased bank charges have compounded the difficulties for small businesses. Despite these setbacks, Egbeshola noted a few positives, including the release of the long-awaited federal government intervention fund and the proposed national tax bill. He expressed hope that these interventions will bring some relief to struggling businesses. Egbeshola emphasized the urgent need for government reforms in 2024 to support MSMEs. He remains optimistic about the future, anticipating a better year starting from 2025, and looks forward to a stronger collaboration with the government on policies that impact the private sector. Other business groups, including the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry and Mines Agriculture, NASIMA, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, and the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, have also shared concerns about the challenges faced by MSMEs in 2024 and are hopeful for a more favorable economic environment in 2025. Now, joining us to discuss all of this is Gabriel Foluso Fasoto, is the former president, Chartered Institute of Taxation in Nigeria. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Welcome to the program. So, 2024 was a year. And that year seemed really, really challenging for most businesses, but not even just most businesses, most Nigerians, most people living here in Nigeria, because we saw a lot of, reforms that were being introduced, but then, of course, they had their effect on people and businesses in this case. But in your own opinion, how did you think 2024 was? What was the performance like, especially on businesses in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. We thank God that we have exited year 2024, which happened to be the most challenging year for everybody, including businesses. Year 2024 marked the first full year of the current administration at the federal level in Nigeria.
Right.
It marked the first full year of the implementation of all the introduced economic indicators in Nigeria. And it was characterized by a lot of trial and errors. Throughout year 2024, we realized that the interest rate was going up north without hope of coming down. Then we realized that the oil sector was just, in a chaotic situation. A lot of unfulfilled promises until late in the year, when the Port Harcourt refinery and that of Warri came on stream after a lot of failed promises. Then the businesses, will only thrive with certainty in the climate. But unfortunately, 2024 didn't afford them that certainty in the economic climate at all. Without being able to plan, you wouldn't be able to grow your business. And that is what led to the exit of some of the multinationals that got out of Nigeria in 2024. It's a year that no businessman or individuals will be praying for to come again at all. So we are hoping for a better 2025.
Business had to leave. In fact, most manufacturing companies definitely had to leave Nigeria. And we got a report that most food businesses had to close down in 2024. for people who, maybe they just have like little businesses. So, and in this case, we're talking about MSMEs. We found out that most of them, because of the high tariff when it comes to electricity, they couldn't do their businesses. We found out that even most manufacturing companies, because when you think about band A tariff, which was, let's say tariff was about 186 naira, you were saying it's about 300, and the margin was so much, they could not go ahead to do that. And then, of course, we're looking for investors, because if we want to grow our economy, you expect investors to come in. The president went on a spree, going to different countries, looking for investors to come in, but yet we haven't seen that manifest here right now. For the common man in Nigeria, having to put food on their table has been so difficult because, of course, you're thinking of transportation. Fuel subsidy was gone in 2023. And like you said, the first full year for all of this, these reforms that were being introduced happened. And with fuel subsidy being gone, transportation fee was, there was a hike there. Electricity tariff obviously had its role to play. Inflation was another issue that we had, because obviously floating of the naira, the exchange rate, I can go on and on. But with all of this that has happened in 2024, I mean, we're in 2025 now, hoping for the best, because I'm sure Nyamgul here is also optimistic. Most Nigerians are optimistic, saying that, 2025 will be a better year. And even the government has said that, of course, in 2025, all of the sacrifices that have been made in 2024, we might start to see dividends. So light at the end of the tunnel. For you, what are some, key performance indicators that you would expect to see in 2025, especially in the first quarter, to say that, yes, we might just be moving in the right direction. So this is going to be a step in the right direction. And the first quarter, what are some key performance indicators that you would love to see, from the government?
I don't know why you call Nyamgul into this as being optimistic. Like the song said, a church song said, I will never die, I will live to declare the wonders of the Lord in my life. That's the only optimism that I have got, because there is no indication that things are going to get better. In fact, from all the experts, things might necessarily get worse. And like I've always said, my only consolation is that it's either we things we may not get better, but we are going to get better at surviving. So that's how optimistic I am. We are going to survive it. If we survive 2024, we are going to survive 2025.
But so there was something, like I've said, there is a word that is being thrown around for Nigerians, and that word is Nigerians are resilient. No matter what you throw at them, they will always bounce back. Well, like orchids, they're delicate, but they're resilient, right? And I feel like our politicians, the government officials, they kind of know this. So they know that even if fuel price was to rise to 5,000 naira, there are people that will still be able to afford it. Fine, people will complain, they will tear their backs, whoever wants to go into the street to protest will protest, but then they will still be fine. So do you think that because we've been able to weather the storm, per se, that if we're able to, survive in 2024, 2025 will still survive it? Do you think that we've carried this cloak of being tough, of being resilient, of being, no matter how you push us or push our backs against the wall, we will be fine? Is that what you would say the government now takes advantage of? Because they know that we'll be fine. So yeah, we can throw anything at them and they'll be fine.
Trust me, there will come a time. There's this saying that there was a frog put in a pot of water, and the water was becoming warm, and it was still swimming and thinking that, okay, the water is getting warm, instead of jumping out of it, until when it got to boiling point, it died. So, but there's only so much a human can take, no matter how resilient you might be. And at that time that you want to react, the reaction will be worse than someone who reacted immediately. It's like a parent now saying, okay, one day I'm going to deal with you, one day I'm going to deal with you, instead of correcting the child until the child becomes something else. And then when you want to deal with that child, you can end up killing the child because you overbeat the child. Everything is coming together to make your emotions even heighten up. There's only so much we can take. Even Jesus Christ had to flog people in the temple. Yes, because Nigerians are very understanding. It's not difficult to take care of Nigerians and win their hearts to you. Nigerians, I've always said this story here, how at one point in my life I organized a 1-week program that I spent nothing. The people themselves were they just want direction. You come to them and say, okay, you know what, this is XYZ that we need to do because of this and that. And when they see reason with you, they are going to be the ones to do everything on their own. Nigerians are not waiting for the government to give them handouts. Give me a situation or an environment that is clement enough for me to do my business. Let the exchange rate be such that I can predict that tomorrow this is going to be my gain. Let everything, when I'm importing, let me know that this is what I'm going to spend. Not because I have imported something today, I come and sell, I make a profit. Tomorrow when I import that same thing, I'm going to spend all my profit and everything and even borrow money to go on. It doesn't make sense. So Nigerians are good, we are resilient, but you don't take advantage of that because you think that we are resilient, we can do anything. It will come a time when NSAS will be play, and bad governance will be play. Well, this is not just like, you know,
a revolution.
This is something that is going to happen unless something is done about it.
Yeah.
And if you've discovered, what we are passing through in Nigeria now is anybody who raises their voice to criticize the government is in trouble.
Yeah, we're just talking about it, expressing yourself.
No matter how much sense you make. In fact, there are some individuals in Nigeria that I don't know whether robots are assigned to. Once you make a statement,
they're coming for you.
They'll start bashing you. And people who have never commented, maybe you'll see on a blog, for instance, where every other comment or every other story will have like 10 comments, 15 comments. That one will have 200. And 98 of those comments will be those people who are bashing the person because you said that, okay, this policy may be better if you did it this way, or this one shouldn't have been done and all that, and they will come for you, calling you names and all that. So how do we develop if you're paying people to abuse the ones that are criticizing you? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Did they believe that National Assembly members could be attacked by bandits? Now they're being attacked. Their families are being attacked. Everything is happening. Military base is being attacked. It doesn't make any sense in a country like Nigeria. So
okay, I mean, since we're talking about, you know, MSMEs and we're talking about challenging year 2024, how it was, there was a survey, and this says a survey by PwC revealed that 35% of Nigerian MSMEs identified inadequate access to finance as their primary challenge. Despite government initiatives, many businesses struggle to secure necessary funding. So we're talking access to finance. You're saying that you want to grow your economy. And of course, in growing your economy, most times taxation, because as people are generating revenue for themselves, you are also generating revenue for the government because you're going to be taxing them. So why are we not making, you know, the business environment more conducive for people? Why are we not giving them access to funding? Why are we not ensuring that the interest rates are a bit lower so that people can take, you know, these loans and then they know that they can pay back in no time? But if you're having double digits interest rate, most people are going to be scared because they're like, whatever profit I even want to make, that means the government is going to be taking more than half of it. Because if I'm going to say, maybe, for instance, my profit is going to be about 30%. If the interest rate is about 20%, what do I have for myself? How do I now even get my capital plus the profit to even say I want to expand my business, put more money in it? It's almost like I'm working for the government. Plus, you're still going to tax me on top of all of that. So why are we not ensuring that there is proper access to funding for businesses in Nigeria? Because of course, we want to grow our economy.
Even if I don't want to take a loan where I'll be talking about interest rates. For instance, I buy something from China, or let me leave China since they have viruses now. I buy something from America and it costs me $50. And then I come and sell in Nigeria and I know that I'm going to make a profit of $10. On top of that, from everything and all that. And then I'm not sure. Next time I go to buy that same thing, it might cost $100 because we're not sure of the exchange rate. It is so volatile that we don't know what is going to happen. It doesn't make any sense for any business. All we're asking, we're not even, a lot of people, they say 35%, I don't know how many people they interviewed, but a lot of people do not even want the loan like it's a do or die affair. The little one that I have
I just want to be able to do business and be able to make my money back.
This is okay. I'm doing business with 1,000 naira and I'm going to get 100 naira on top. Every day, if I do this and get 100 naira, I'm going to save for my child's school fee. Or you don't even know if you are going to get that 100 naira.
And guess what? By the time you're going back to school, your child's school fees has doubled even.
Yes. And then money he will be asking me for transportation, even to school, has doubled and everything. You're not sure of the next day. If we are consistent, even if it is high, even if it's $2,000 naira to $1, and we know that for the rest of the year is going to be like that, businesses will flourish better than now.
Yeah.
That we are not even sure.
Yeah.
That's a very big problem. And unless the government does something about it, to be consistent in whatever it is they're doing, then it's going to be a problem to us. The farmer doesn't want you to give him loan.
Yeah, I completely agree with you with the economic instability, because of course inflation, the volatility of the naira, the exchange rates, what have you, it's a whole lot of problems. But another thing I would even like to speak about is the operational costs, because for most of these businesses, you have to operate your business. You need to pay electricity, right? Transportation of maybe whatever, maybe if you're working with some goods that you have to bring them in and out, you have to pay salaries. Operational cost takes a huge chunk. But then it also seems like the infrastructure, the way Nigeria has been set up, doesn't favor you at all. So if I was, if I had a business and my business is hinged on electricity, let's say for instance I had a salon, and I need to, just ensure that my customers are comfortable with the salon. You have to maybe straighten their hair. You need electricity. And I need electricity all the time. First, electricity is already expensive because I need it all the time. So if I'm under band A, I'm paying so much money. Also, if there is no electricity, having to get diesel, you're hearing of scarcity sometimes, and then how expensive diesel is. So the alternative source that I would need is still not even good for me. So how am I supposed to operate in the business world and make my money back if the operational cost is also an issue? I think we have Gabriel Foluso back. Sir, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm sure you've been, listening to all of our conversations that we've been having.
Sorry that we lost connection at some point, and we'd like to apologize to you for that.
All right. So I wanted to ask, right, taxation, government's, support for all of these businesses, because one thing that we spoke about was, interest rates and the access to funding. So most businesses complained that one of their key challenges was the fact that they couldn't even access funding. So if I have a business and I want to expand, I need to get loans. And if I have to get loans, the interest rate is not very favorable. But what do you think the government can do? And before you left us, I was asking for the key performance indicators that you hope to see in the first quarter for us to say that yes, 2025 might just be a better year compared to 2024.
Thank you very much. The first thing is for government to provide certain economic environment. The NPR on the monetary policy has to go southward. There is no way any business can survive on 35% interest rate. It's not possible all over the world. Then, the issue of making politics to be above the economic policies should be reviewed by Nigerians. The issue of tax reform bills that were sent to the National Assembly, has targeted a particular time frame that by January this year, any business should be able to predict the tax atmosphere in the country. And by the first quarter, this will be the achievement, the growth, and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, as of today, we are still debating the political side of that tax reform bills. The same thing with the other fiscal issues. We are talking about the harsh economic environment. We need to actually provide certainty for businesses to operate in Nigeria by ensuring that the interest rate is affordable by the businesses, that the electricity is stable in the country, because there is no country that can grow with this type of erratic power supply, then the issue of the fuel scarcity, the fuel price had to be reviewed to be in favor of businesses in Nigeria. So these are some of the things that government needs to provide enabling environment for businesses to thrive in the country.
Okay, but we are being promised that 2025 will be better and that the policies will start yielding results. But if you had your way, what policy would you advise that it should be discontinued? Because the president might have good intentions, but the reality on ground may be different from what he's thinking. And he may not be getting the true picture because a lot of people who are around him may not be telling him the truth. Left for you, what policy do you think should run and what policy do you think should not run, or at least be looked at first before we return? For instance, you are versed in the tax issues, and now tax reform is having a problem, especially up north and all that. What is your assessment of that? Should it run, or if it should run, how much better can we make it?
To me, I don't think that any policy should be dropped, but rather there should be proper alignment of these policies. We take the issue of an economic environment as a body. What we are saying is that if my hand is giving me problem, let me stop using it and be using other parts of the body. There's no way other parts of the body can carry out the functions of the hand. The same thing with the eyes, ears, and so on and so forth. All the policies introduced, they are good.
Including the floating of the naira, of the dollar or naira or something.
Of the naira.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, if we can recall, before the issue of the naira, the naira problem, that's the exchange rate hike, you will realize that few Nigerians were feeding fat on Nigerians by staying in their house, get some dollars from the government and sell at black market rates. And that was killing the environment, it was killing business. So that policy is actually okay, but unfortunately, other policies that are supposed to align with it were not going along with it. And that is the issue of the tax reforms. Because the taxation environment in the country is not currently favoring the businesses, and the MSMEs that are highly affected, they are the victims of these unaligned policies. We are saying that the issue of the exchange rate should go down. We are operating with the outside world. If we are not producing anything in the country, there is no way the exchange rate will not be as high as possible. So what we expect government to do is to have accelerated the internal production of goods and services to match the current high exchange rate. Otherwise, we will still continue with the same problem we face in 2024. They cannot continue importing and be expecting the exchange rate to go down, or for government to reduce the exchange rate. It's not possible. You have to face the reality.
Right.
So this is the time to bite the bullet, and we pray that 2025 government would have garnered enough experience to be able to stabilize the economic environment in the country.
All right, so as we wrap it up, we're in a new year now, and a lot of people are being optimistic that 2025 will be a better year. But for businesses that have struggled in 2024 prior to now, what practical advice would you give to them, and how can they remain resilient and, have that adaptability in 2025 if things do not just go as planned?
Well, for them to have survived 2024, that is a good opportunity for them to believe that they will survive 2025. To start with, this is the beginning of the year. I believe that every business should clear the cobwebs in its business environment. Don't let us go through the shortcut. let us adhere to the government policies, and I believe that government is hearing the populace to ensure that they put the economic space in the affordability of various businesses in the country. That is the way we'll be able to survive year 2025. Put your house in order. Ensure that your books are right. You are doing the right business in the right manner according to the policy of the government.
Fantastic. That's such a good way to end it. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time, Gabriel. It's been a pleasure having you on our program this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we're speaking with Gabriel Foluso Fasoto. He's a former president, Chartered Institute of Taxation in Nigeria. And we've just been talking about how MSMEs struggled in 2024, but we're hopeful and optimistic that 2025 will be a better year for all businesses in Nigeria. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll be discussing politics, and this is reverse politics, basically. Please stay with us.